All right. Hey everybody, welcome, and welcome both you guys in person and you guys online. And I will introduce myself first and get started here with the class. And of course, I'll start with welcome to Physics 110. And I am Dr. Young, and I will be teaching this physics sequence this summer, as you probably already realized that you signed up for. And I hope it's fun. It's going to be fun, I hope, for me, because I haven't done this level of class in a long time. My normal teaching of the class, I'm a former Boeing engineer, and so I have taught the engineering sequence of this, but not the life science specialty of this. And because of some staffing changes and whatnot, we needed to find someone to teach it or cancel it, and that really wasn't a good option. We know how many students need the course. And anyways, so I'm taking on this challenge, and I'm taking on a new challenge too as we've coming back from COVID. So I'm going to try to do a dual thing. And so I got you guys in person, and I've got you guys online, and of course, hopefully we'll see how this goes. So that's a little bit of my background. I've been teaching for 27 years. It just hasn't been this class. And because of the difference and because of trying to do kind of a dual thing, I'm kind of excited about the challenge and looking forward to it. So we'll see how it plays out, and please forgive any hiccups along the way. We'll make it right. I guarantee it here. But those are kind of my introductions here. All right. So I'm looking forward to getting to know you guys, and you guys in person in the lab, and you guys online, probably mostly through Zoom and email. But let me jump right into the class, because summer school is a fast pace and we want to get started right away. And I'll get started with just the structure of the class. And you guys, I probably should have emphasized to the syllabus, but in order to save a few trees, I didn't print it for you guys in class. And of course, you guys online, everybody got it by email, and it's on the Canvas page. And so I want to go through the syllabus. This will kind of highlight the class, the expectations, the dates, and everything good and bad about the syllabus here. All right, so I called it up here, and so this is what you may have already seen because I, sent it out by email, but it should be exactly also the same thing posted on Canvas here. And so let me just kind of run through the first part here. Let me get my little laser pointer here. Has me, my name here. Here's Dr. Mike Young. It does have my contact, my office, my phone number, my email. It then has a description of this class. Let me not spend too much time on that because I think you probably already read that and studied that and kind of know what physics is about. But just in case, I will emphasize that this 110 is an introductory college level physics course, and we will be covering things like kinematics, Newton's laws of motion, Newton's universal law of gravity, work, energy, momentum, and I'll stop there. But you get the idea, and we're just going to do 17 chapters here this first semester. And for those of you brave enough to take summer 2, then we will go do another, I was going to say 17, but I'm not sure, but another set of courses as we do the whole sequence. And of course, somewhere in here, it does emphasize right here, this is an introductory physics course for students majoring in the life science. And so you'll see the book, and you'll see me try to emphasize, okay, here's the physics of it, but let me try to make it appropriate for a life science person. And how does this equate to the life science? To be quite honest, I think your biology classes do that a little better. They say, hey, remember what you learned in physics? Remember you learned about leverage and kinesiology and the difference between torque and force, which you haven't been exposed to yet. But why does the ape's bicep muscle stretch out to here and contact here instead of back here? How does that affect the difference? And so those are the kind of things we'll touch on. But I got to admit, that's not my specialty. So I will do my best to make it as connected to life science as possible here. probably the biggest thing for me to say is right down here, if you hadn't got a chance, this is kind of the first thing I want to tell all of you guys in person and all of you guys online, is get the textbook, all right? And we use the OpenStax textbook. It's called College Physics. I made the link here, so you can just click right on it and download it. I would encourage you to get the PDF version. It's free. You can also order a hard copy. I forget how much it costs. I ordered me one just so I could have one, but here it is. So here's the hard copy, but that's what the little icon looks like. And just, again, download that. In fact, let me take a moment to actually click on the link and have it open, but I will point out then right here it says download PDF. Now you can also view it online, which they recommend. I don't recommend that just because you never know where you are, and if you're on your laptop you might not have a good Wi-Fi signal, and it does take quite a bit of Wi-Fi to work it. So I prefer just to download the PDF. So that's what I'm going to encourage and recommend. Now, that being said, there is a second textbook, the university level. This is the level that then throws in some calculus. And so just in case you're not completely familiar with the physics sequence, you guys being life science, we have two. One that doesn't have calculus, that's our 105, 106 series, and one that then has a little bit of calculus. And that's why this second textbook is needed, because the OpenStax doesn't really have a free good textbook that has both of them. And so we need to jump into their engineering book a little bit, and obviously not as much as we would in the engineering class, but enough that we cover the sequence of calculus. And so you'll see that here, right here in the first day, when we get into chapter 2. So we'll hopefully get into chapter 1 and then chapter 2. Anyways, so go ahead and download that one too. Now that one I don't own a hard copy with, but I will kind of do the same thing and go to the OpenStax and then say, here is, you want to do this same thing, and to download the PDF. And if you'll also notice, I'll go back to the syllabus in case you're wondering, there's a volume 1 and a volume 2. You make the call if you want to download volume 2 already, because volume 2 is not going to be needed for a while, maybe 2/3 through the summer school here, because the way they have their calculus-based ones, it's in a 3-volume set, and so even though they put all of the physics in one textbook here, they don't here. So we're going to have to do a volume and a half, and then same thing for those of you who go on next to Physics 111. I'm going to ask you to download volume 2 and then volume 3, so we have something with the calculus base. Anyways, that's the main thing. Another good thing, there's no costs here then for the textbook, is we've got a lab manual that will become handouts. And so each day we go to the lab, and for you guys in person, that means right after class we'll go over to the lab. You guys online, what that means is when I make all these, and so in the evening, so Monday evening, you'll get both this video lecture and then you'll also get a video lab, which I will make after I work with you guys in person here. And so that's kind of the structure we'll go through here. Anyway, so for the handout, I will give you in lab for you in-person people, and for you guys online, when I send it all out, I'll send out the handouts with it. Now, as far as points and grading, I'm sure this is extremely important to you. And of course, there's nothing really to calculate as of yet. But as we run through the calendar here, you'll see we're going to go through, we're going to have 3 exams and a final exam. That's most of your grade. That's 75% of your grade. And then for each chapter, we're going to do a homework assignment, and almost each day we'll do a lab. And so we'll put all those together, and that will be the weighted average. So your homework will be 10%, your labs will be 15%, and your exams will be, a total of, well, the exams themselves will be 50%, final exam will be another 25%. So your exams total are 75%. So keep that in mind. And I got some, I think, really good news for you. Right here, the homeworks and lab, this is part of the learning process. And so they're not graded on whether you did them right or wrong. They're graded as, did you do them? Are you putting in the effort, and then did you turn it in? I'm going to have all of you, both you inline and in person and you online students, we're going to just have you turn it all in Canvas. And so everybody can have a grade book in Canvas. And as you'll see, you can see your grade in Canvas. And as long as you're doing the homework assignments, know this, that 25% of your grade should be 100% correct. Very, very useful, because what that means then is when it comes to your exams, if you can get a score on average of 86% or higher because you did all the homeworks and labs, your overall score will be above 90%. Okay? And so that's my way of trying to say, look, you really want to do those homeworks and labs. They go a long way, not just for your grade, but the most important thing, they go for your learning. And so if you do them, then shooting for that A means you only have to get 86% on the exam, which is still kind of hard. I get that. Now the B then means that if you can get 73% or higher on the exams, and then you do all your homeworks and labs, then your overall class average will go up to 80% and you'll get a B. Okay? And so that's, I like to emphasize. Come on in here. All right, so with that in mind, let me get to what would be really a homework assignment, and this is what I will ask you guys to do tonight, or at least get started on it. As I try to do both in person and online, I have to be a little more flexible with due dates, and so I'll explain due dates in just a second. But I want to encourage you to stay on top of things, even if I'm going to give you some extra. I'm going to give you all week to do the week's assignments. That's really for the online people, can be more asynchronous, but I want to encourage you guys in class, and as well as you guys online, I want to really encourage you to stay on top of this, because if you put it off towards the end of the week, that's just way too much material to try to do on a Friday night or a Saturday and get it all turned in by Sunday. Okay? And so when I say you have a homework assignment, this is going to be it. And so as you'll see here, it says you have a homework for chapter 1, and that's where we're going to get started in just a moment. We're going to say, all right, we're going to do these problems. Now, sometimes we will have problems assigned from the calculus book. As you soon will see, there really is no calculus from chapter 1. Chapter 1 is about significant figures, converting units, and for any of you who've already had a science class, like you were telling me about chemistry, this should be a nice review for you. Okay? Maybe even a little different, but still a review. Okay? But there are some other chapters, chapter 2 and chapter 3 and chapter 4 of our college physics book, that then correspond to chapter 3 in the university book. So that's maybe a little confusing here. So let me point it out again. When we get into chapter 2 here of the college physics book, that's our main book, you'll do the homework here for chapter 2, but you will also be asked to go into chapter 3 of the university physics book and do these 5 problems. And so those will be your harder problems. Most of the time, it has a little bit of calculus in it. I think, if I remember right, 4 of these are based on calculus, and 1 of them is just a harder problem. 2 objects moving in 2 directions at the same time, and it's just a harder problem because of that. So that's why you'll see these every once in a while. And what I've done here, and to let you guys online and in person know, is this would be what our goal is this week. And so this kind of gives you what to shoot for by next Sunday night, okay? And so we're going to try to do chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4 this week. And we will lecture on it, and then that'll give you a chance to kind of, see all this on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, still work on it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and get it all turned in on Sunday, and then we'll start again on the next week. In fact, it's probably best if I just move to the next page, which is the calendar. You can see it laid out a little bit better. Here's the dates, and so today is Monday the 16th. And we will have class then, the 16th, 17th, and 18th. And of course, you guys in person will do that in the morning. And you guys online, you'll get this material in the evening of the 16th, 17th, and 18th. But it'll be chapters, today, right here, Monday, will be chapters 1. And hopefully we'll get started into chapter 2. We'll continue with chapter 2 tomorrow. And then also into chapter 3. And then basically it's one chapter. Well, here's 2. Each of these days, and I guess I will point out then this first week, there's what I was saying earlier, that our goal here, if we're thinking of this as one big piece, we're going to try to do chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4 this week. That's our big goal, okay? And as you'll see when you look on Canvas, the labs for this week are all then due this Sunday night. For you guys in person, we'll probably just do them in lab, and you can turn them in. You can either turn them in Canvas or do a hard copy right there in class. But you guys online, to make this asynchronous, and I know some of you are working and got busy hours in other classes, that's why it's laid out this way. And so these 3 labs on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you can do it on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, as long as you finish it up by Sunday night. So you'll see on Canvas that it's due Sunday night. Now, as we get into the next week, notice then we get chapters 5 and 6 on Monday, and then chapter 7 on Tuesday, and surprisingly, there comes that first test right away here. And so our first exam is in the second week, and more on that when we get there. It'll cover chapters 1 through 6, so it will be the material for Monday, and then give you a day or two for it to kind of settle in, and then take an exam on that. So that's where we're headed. And I'll say more about the exam as we get close. I will point out there are 2 holidays. There's a holiday here on Monday the 30th, and another holiday here on June 20th. So we won't have class, obviously, or lab on those days. But then we come to the end, and I do want to kind of point out the end, because as you can see, normally I go for summer school 2 weeks and a test. And because of this holiday, instead of going 2 weeks and a test, I decided it made sense to move the test down here on this Monday. That'd give you the weekend to study, and kind of plan out your own schedule, both you in person and you online people, so that you can kind of decide when you're going to study and get ready for test 2. The only bad thing about that is it really makes the end really cramped. I mean, look what's going to happen here at the end is then when we get into weeks, I guess this would be 5 and then 6, we got a holiday here. We just took a test on this Monday, and then on this Tuesday we've got another test followed by the last day of class, which is a final exam. So it's already, even without this holiday here, when the test is normally here, it still gets pretty challenging at the end, where you have a test and an exam. But with this one here, it's going to be even more so. So I want to point that out so you can kind of think about it ahead of time and kind of plan that way. Well, one more thing here, and at least one more thing on the syllabus is, let me just point out then, this is kind of our lab schedule, and probably the only thing I'll say is today we're going to do a lab. It's what I call an introduction lab. It's a short lab. It just kind of lays out the rules and the safety of it, and how to turn on the computer and do the graphing, and for you guys online, how to access our online graphing material so that you can then make the graphs and log into what we call our virtual desktop. So you guys online from your home, you can log in, and your desktop will look exactly like when you're in the lab. And so you students will just have you in-person ones will just have a computer in front of us in the lab, and so I won't have to show you how to log in from off campus, but that'll be the main thing. Anyways, then finally tomorrow we actually do a lab which is acceleration due to gravity. So we'll start actually collecting some data there. All right, well, I hope that kind of gave you the overall gist of it, and that's what I wanted to do is go through all of that. I also wanted to then just take a moment to go to Canvas, let's see, just to make sure that all of you know how to get to Canvas. Do I still have a Canvas tab open? I don't. Maybe that's just as good. But if you type in Canvas and then .sbcc, then .edu, you'll get to what looks like your pipeline account. And then this is where you're asked to put in your username and your password. Okay, and I won't mess with it any further than that. But what I need all of you to try is to make sure you can get on Canvas, because if you can't, let me know. Obviously, you guys here, tell me, I'll help you. And you guys online, send me an email or Zoom with me or something, because we got to get you to get onto Canvas. But I am getting the impression that now that we've been in COVID mode for 2 years or 2 years? Yeah, 2 years. It's not like it used to be where students didn't know about Canvas. Now everybody knows about Canvas. They're like, oh yeah, Canvas. Yeah. So I'll leave it at that. Now, the last thing I want to say as an introduction here is I want to kind of just set down a timetable we'll do each Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And so the first thing is obviously very clear. From 8 o'clock to 11 o'clock, we're going to have the lecture. And so as you saw there, my goal here today is to introduce the class and get started in Chapter 1, and then actually start some physics, which is in Chapter 2. As I said, Chapter 1 is converting units and significant figures and some things that for a lot of you will be a review. At least 8 to 11 for you guys in person. You guys online, of course, then will record all this and do a little processing, and you'll get it in the evening. Okay. Now, the second thing I want to mention then is from 11. Actually, there is a little break here, so I should probably put 10:50. So class goes to 10:50, and so we'll separate out at 10:50, give us a chance to get a drink and stretch our legs and use the restroom, and then we'll head on over to the lab. And so from 11 o'clock until, and I'll put 1:50 because that's what it's scheduled for, but the truth is it's till you're done. And so you guys in person, you'll see that the labs are pretty straightforward. And today, even a short one, just because it's an introduction. But we'll be out of there long before 1:50. Or you'll have a chance to start asking me a lot of questions, and I can help you with the homeworks. And so there's a lot of time there for individual help here. So whatever you want to make it, out of it. But this, I'll call this the lab time. Okay? Now, at that point, from about, I'll call it 2 o'clock until about 4:30 will be a chance for me and my assistant Ron here running the camera to get something to eat, and Ron will probably start processing the video for you guys online and start getting that ready, and I'll probably do a few things. I'll probably even head home because I live kind of far, and it'll be nice to not have to go home during traffic, so I might take that as advantage to get home. But at 4:30 I'll Zoom then, and so if anybody wants to pop in, and this is probably more for you online people than you in person, because you guys had to look at me for 6 hours that day, so you probably don't want to Zoom with me also. But you guys online, I'm going to be sending out then the Zoom link for the semester real soon here tonight, and I'll get it out here sometime after lab, but before 4:30. And again, maybe it's too early to really think about asking questions or Zooming. I totally get that. But I want you to have that opportunity. And so during those times, I'll go home, I'll set up my camera, I'll turn on my laptop and say, all right, anybody, got some individual questions? And I've got a nice little camera on my desk at home that students usually pop in and say, I'm really having troubles with problem number 13. I don't get number 13. And so I go, okay, here, let me switch cameras. And so I switch cameras, and it just shines directly down on my desk. And so you can see like my arm and my hand, and so I'll just, kind of guide you through that. Now, if nobody shows up for Zoom, I'll just go ahead and make some videos. I'll look at the homework and say, hey, you know what? I'm looking at number 19, and 19 looks hard. So why don't I make a video solution for those? Because I know somebody out there is going to struggle with 19. And so I know this would be good. And so I'll just take the time to make a video solution. And then in that case, once I make it, I'll just send it to all of you and say, hey, anybody struggling with number 19, or anybody just wants to see if they did number 19? Here's number 19. This is a good one to look at. But let me use that as an opportunity, both you in person, but particularly you guys online. If you ever come across one that you're struggling with, like say, you're working in the morning, and while I'm over here during the lecture, you're saying, hey, I'm struggling with number 27, shoot me an email and say, I'm struggling number 27, because then this would be even better. Instead of I pick a problem that I think would help you, you guys tell me where you're struggling and what would help you. Because if somebody out there is struggling number 27, I know there's a lot of other people struggling with number 27. So say, and hey, can you try number 27? And so I'll do, if nobody shows up to the Zoom, I'll do number 27. And if a bunch of people show up and we don't get to number 27, then after I Zoom, I'll make number 27 for you. So I will get back to you guys online. And same thing then when it's not the normal Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So this is the schedule Monday through Wednesday. But feel free, shoot me off an email and say, hey, I don't know what's going on here. I'm kind of lost, and I'll get right back to you. I'm usually quite quick at it, pretty good. I'm be lining Vaughn's waiting to check out. Oh, wait, student, just let me see if I can answer it real quick here. And so I'll type out an answer if it can be typed out. Some of them are questions like I can't do number 27. I need help. Well, with that one I have to go make a 25-minute video for that one to make sense. But the other one could be I wasn't sure what the initial velocity was, or whatever the question is. Anyways, that's my invitation. I'm really particularly for you guys who are online, because that set up a lot for you guys. Not to say you guys in person can't take advantage of it, but like I said, you guys are looking at me 6 hours a day, so you're probably tired of talking to me by the time all the summer school stuff goes away. And so the last thing then for that introduction then is let this just be an open invitation, because this is a new experiment and an exciting experiment for me that I'm going to try to teach it in person and in online at the same time and see how it plays out here. And so what that means is if any of you who are online want to come one day, feel free. We got a lot of open seats. Come on in and you can be in person for that day. It also means the reverse too, for any of you guys who are signed up in person and you want to, I shouldn't say want to miss class. I mean, who would want to miss class? I mean, this is going to be the funnest thing you've ever done in your life here, right? But you miss class because of a flat tire, or what happened a lot last semester when I was trying to teach in person. And for me, coming back in person last semester was the first time since the pandemic, and a number of my students got a little cough or a little cold. They didn't get coronavirus, but they got a cough, and because of our protocols, they couldn't come onto campus. And so that could very easily happen to some of you guys who are in person. And so if that happens to you, note that I'm going to send all this material to everybody. You guys who are in person and you guys who are online, you're going to get all the video lectures and the video lab. And so you guys could just say, well, I couldn't come on campus because I had a cough, but I can still see the lecture because I know it'll be available that evening. Okay. And so that kind of is an open invitation. You don't need to tell me when you come and whatever. All right, well, I'll call that the end of the introduction. And so, Ron, I'll say, why don't you stop the camera there, and we'll call that a wrap of one.